I'm going to show you my 2024 results, and I'm going to break it down by different types of strategy. And I'm going to show you how you can use my sheets to use your results to compare your own things graphically. It is pretty amazing. Let's get into it. Today, I'm rolling out a huge feature set, which I'm pretty excited about. I have made massive upgrades and added a performance tab with charting, which is super cool, to the rolling options record keeper, the black swan tracker, the wheel tracker, and the options journal. I made a combined spreadsheet, which shows graphically all of the different returns. I'm also going to be releasing a very specific swing trading stock journal, specifically to go with one of my new affiliates. So if you want to check them out, click the link down in the description and check out their services because it's pretty awesome. We're going to look at all the 2024 results, and I'm going to compare it by different types of strategies, and I'm going to show you how you can compare yours if you like. Down at the bottom of the RORK, you're going to see there's some changes down here. There is no longer a zero performance tab. It has been replaced by the zero year-to-date RORK tab. I have also added 3 new tabs: the zero year-to-date Black Swan Hedge, the year-to-date Combined, and the year-to-date Wheel. What this is going to do is it's going to link with these other products. So when you click on this, this is going to automatically populate. There's very few cells that you have to fill out, and it will retroactively work with your previous file. So you can copy this into your existing file if you wish. You will have to update the links that appear that allow you to jump around within the document. For example, I can jump over to the options A to Z, and when I'm at the options A to Z, this is completely redesigned. So this is a new download down here. Make sure you get that as well. You'll notice the previous area, we used to have a performance tab in here. It used to look like this. I would have to put it into the performance weekly tab and it would track it over time. Overall, I wasn't happy with it. So ground up redesign. We're going to take a look at what it looks like now. Well, why don't we look at what this year's performance looked like? It's the same data, it's just formatted differently. So we're formatted vertically. I can now see everything on my screen all at once. You can see the chart is much larger. I've added this chart for closed wins and losses. This replaces little circles that everybody loved. It is still there. It's just now in the form of did we win or did we lose? And of course, the strategy that I use has a high win rate, 82% win rate this year. This is statistical. We've been doing this for years and years and years. The performance has been quite great for the trades that I have been doing for many years. You'll notice one of the tabs, this yellow bar in here, is something new, and what it's doing is it's plotting a line if you want to set a target. So for a lot of people, you know, they want to make like a 10% return. So we can set that target on there and it will automatically update the chart and it will show you a 10% return. And you can see we did crazy return. So this was 51.24% in the rolling trades. Pretty fantastic overall. Does that mean my portfolio did that? No, because this is one portion of the trading that I do. So I allocate some of my account to this type of trading and others to other types. In 2024, I made a pretty dramatic change. I wanted to do a very low delta setup. I was watching people like Tom King. I was talking to members in his group, and I was looking at these strategies where we're looking at 5 delta, 10 delta, short premium selling positions. And you know, it seemed like super risky to me. And I thought, well, you know what, as long as we hedge these, I think this will be fine. I didn't decide to go into 112s, decided instead to trade with 111 trades, which have enough risk with them already. And we discovered very quickly that the risk is not worth the squeeze in my experience and my personal experience, money out of my pocket. And I'm going to show you that today. Exactly what happened. First of all, I'm going to show you some of these other tabs. We're going to look at the Black Swan Hedge because this hedge was supposed to be protecting my account. Now we already have a hedge tracker in here. I've done videos on this. This tab actually got an upgrade as well. You can see I added this hedges deployed section. The reason for this was because we actually had hedges that made some money this year. My sheet didn't actually have anywhere for you to put in the selling of the long puts. My assumption was that we were playing so far, we were never ever going to have to need them. And boy, was I wrong this year. So you'll see that we actually had closing credits on some of these, $5,700 closing credit. The profit from these, $1,200, $1,200, $1,500, $2,200, pretty amazing. The initial credit on these trades, anywhere between like $900 and $400, depending on how many contracts we open. So we get paid at opening credit, and then later we get paid a credit. So we have a net profit of money, which is pretty amazing. The problem is that there was some that were losers, and the ones that were closed by the brokerages absolutely got handed to us. So unfortunately, when I was closing mine and selling these off, some of these positions, I was selling for $12. The brokerage in the overnight session had actually closed these for $47. So I was collecting 4 times less than the brokerage was charging me. So even though I had tons of winners, I had these 2 that were closed early. Those 2 resulted in almost a $20,000 drawdown. My net debit on the total transactions for the year was $9,500. If we look at that in a chart form, and this is that new tab that I've added, you can see that the Black Swan Hedge was slowly, incrementally making money. They're not really supposed to make money. I was just squeezing it to hope that they could, and then have this absolutely killer drawdown single night. Not fun, to say the least. And what I wanted to do was plot this against my other trades, because these are technically in different sheets. I've got like my Black Swan Hedge log, and then I've got my rolling options all in a tab. I also have my wheel trades. By the way, my wheel trades killed it this year. Let me just pull up the results from last year. You can see over the past year from January 5th to January 3rd, 34.43%. If we were to do like a custom range, let's just go back and let's look at the last 2 years. And let's just take a look at what this looks like performance-wise. Over the past 2 years, 60.15%. Covered calls are absolutely killing it, like just rocketing it. Barely any drawdowns. Fantastic strategy. My IBKR account did even better. My results were, I'll put them up on screen here, but 33.45% this year in covered call strategies. So those strategies, absolutely killing it. We're loving those in this bull market. We should continue to see that performance, even if the market slows down, because covered calls continue to pay us, which is fantastic. And that's what we're trying to do. So we looked at the RORK, we saw this 50% return. We looked at the Black Swan Hedge. The wheel trades, I didn't actually record any as closed. I just showed you those accounts, but I don't typically close those. I just roll the same positions over and over and over again. So they just continue to make money. Had I recorded the profits this year, then obviously this chart would be even bigger than it is. On the A to Z chart, pretty simplistic. I've moved the filter up and I've just gotten rid of all of this stuff on this side that we just weren't using. Everything else here is pretty well the same. There's a couple little links here, here and there. If you're planning on using the RORK, I would definitely download each of the spreadsheets into your sheet so you have the most updated version. They do have version numbers if they've been updated, so you can look through the individual tabs and find out which version you have and compare it to yourselves. But you can generally just copy the individual sheet into your workbook, and then there's just a couple of links that need to be fixed, and it should be good to go. They should reference one another pretty easily. The other thing you might want to do is update the app script. I think that's an important update to make sure that everything is functioning as far as renaming goes with the files, because there are some new tab names, so that has to be updated as well. You can get to that just by clicking on the app script and opening it. Just copy and paste yours. So you just copy this whole thing and just use Control A, Command A to select all, copy, and then go into your own file, open up the same one, copy and paste over it, and then click on the little save button at the top. Pretty simple actually to do that. So the app script is called Organized Sheets, and it's something that I have written over time, and there's quite a bit of data in there, but it does make the sheet function very well. So make sure that is up to date. The 0 YTD Combined is already preset up to automatically link to the returns in the Black Swan Hedge, the RORK, and the wheel sheet. I'm also going to show you the steps of how that links, and then I'm going to show you how you can set your own. We'll just start fresh with these white cells. We're going to go hit equals and then the curly bracket, and basically the curly bracket just allows us to select a range. So we go over to the 0 year-to-date RORK. And what we want to do is we want to select the profit and loss category, and it's from K. So you could type this in if you want. This is what it is. It's the 0 year-to-date RORK, exclamation point, K2 to K76, and then end curly bracket, and then just hit enter. And what that will do is it will update it. Now you'll see this is the beginning of the year. It doesn't actually have anything tracked in it yet. it's interesting here. I've made a data check in here to make sure that the years are correct. So right now, the combined sheet is set to year 2024, but this data is pulling for 2025 because this sheet is set for 2025. So make sure they're all set correctly. There is that little red to remind you. So this one has to be just changed to 2025 very easily. And now you can see that data check has gone away. So if you see red on the sheet, there's usually something going on, and it tells you what is going on. You know, I build this in, it says this cell checks the years in this row. So if it's red, it's telling you what's going on. Let's fix this other one. So we're going to link over to the range on 0 year-to-date wheel. This is also broken. So you can just go to edit, and right here in the search, just it will automatically pop up, but you're just looking for the year-to-date wheel. That's where you want it to link. And that's as easy as it is to fix a link. So now we can jump back and forth, and we can go to, to these different files. So if they're not working, they're pretty easy fixes. So we're gonna go back to that combined. Let's see, this one's not working. So this one's gonna be the RORK. So you can just type in any part of it. There it is, 0 year-to-date RORK. That's the trades I want to copy. And then this one, again, we're going to do this range equals curly bracket. And then I'm going to go over to the year-to-date wheel, and I'm going to select this same cell K through to the bottom and end curly bracket, and then just hit enter. And then it should populate those out. What does this look like? Let's take a look in my last year's, and we'll look at that same sheet. And so when it's all filled out, the combined year-to-date profit and loss. So this shows everything, all of the different trade scenarios. And we've got this 20% target that we can change in here. So I can change this to 10% if I like. That's what we're trying to do, is make at least 10%. This pulls this data from those other sheets. So we can see, I showed you the wheel strategy before. It had no trades recorded. So it's a 0, 56,000 from the rolled trades, that $9,500 loss from the Black Swan hedge. The complex options, which is the trading plan, we didn't actually get to that. Let's take a look at it right now. This was the trading plan that we're talking about. This was trading 111 trades, and it started off well. It was doing exactly what we expected it to do, but these drops, this first one was when silver and gold were pushing up, and pretty big losses, all things considered. Then we get some pushing up, we get some adjustments down, and then this was the August 5th debacle, and just terrible. My Black Swan hedges weren't effective enough. This actually only shows a $25,000 loss. The loss was over $200,000 on paper in the overnight trading session. So now I wasn't super sweating about it, because we knew that we were so far away and it was just a volatility expansion. But the problem was the brokerage was closing our positions. And so these are the realized losses. Had we been forced out of more positions, it would have been even worse. I think I got lucky in getting out of this, and then I didn't really place any more trades. We just saw the residual of them coming out, because these were all like 90-day trades that I was doing. And really, this type of profit profile, to me, just not worth it. When I compare that to the other trades, which were like of equal size, and this is actually interesting, this big drawdown was because I was trading a trade that didn't fit very well in my my complex options trading plan sheet that I was building, and I moved it over to the RORK. So this one big loss is actually from the trading plan. My performance would have been even better if I hadn't had that silly thing in there, but I just left it because I got to record it somewhere, so it might as well be in there. And that's the cool thing about this, is you can put them wherever you want. So we're going to go back to this combined tab. So there's trading plan. Oh yeah, the SPX 0 DTE trading, that is the Green Giant. So the Green Giant's really cool. I don't do a huge amount of 0 DTE trading, but for those of you who do, I only traded 64 days last year. That's not a lot. People that do it are hardcore. I traded much, much more than that in 2023, and in 2024 I just lightened up. I decided it wasn't worth it. I was also playing way smaller. I started the year still risking $10,000. Look at how small these got. I was risking like $1,100, $1,500, and making some decent money. $1,500 a risk, $483 return. Trying to get these higher percentage returns was working half decently, actually. I did up my risk here, and then, you know, as you get into higher risk, you get into bigger losses, and that's the way that goes. So you can see I had a $2,800 loss and a $1,000 loss on after a couple of days of playing with these slightly bigger trades, thinking I knew what I was doing, which as you know, well, we never know what we're doing. So make sure you have tight stop losses. What I've gotten rid of, this section is no longer there. It has now been replaced with a whole new chart that looks like everything else, and we can set this target on here. So again, 20% target. You see, I easily beat that, but again, very low capital requirement, $11,000 risk. I was up as high as $7,000 at one point, and then gave some of those profits back, as we do sometimes. That is what the name of the game is. It's all part of it. I'm going to show you one more thing. This is the new swing trading journal. Pretty straightforward. So you just fill in the white cells, the opening date, how much the portfolio value is, how much I'm risking, what the underlying is, whether I'm long. It's a very simplistic chart. It only does long, short, or dividend. That's it. It's just for swing trading. No options at all in this particular one. But it's really easy to record my entry, target price, my stop order, break even price, whether or not I'm actually filled on the shares or not, what that credit is. You can see some of these, I still record them in here, just no fill, and I've set the sheet up to do that. But pretty awesome, actually. Very, very simple type of trading. And you can see with this target, I only set it at 2% because I only traded the last month of the year. So I thought, well, how do I amortize a 24% return? 2% a month. So I put in 2%, and look at that. I made that 2% in a month. So bringing it all together, you can link these. I've got these extra sheets in here. There's one other thing that we didn't do, which was my options journal. I'm going to show you how I'm going to do that. So this is going to be my poor man's covered put strategies. We can put in whatever we want in this top heading. I'm going to put in poor man's covered put, and then I'm going to put in the trades from another one of my sheets, which is the options journal. So I'm just going to go over the options journal. This is super cool sheet. You know, this is one of those ones. This allows you to just do really simple swing trading with options. It does have a little bit more. It's similar to the one I just showed you for swing trading, but you can be long or short puts, calls individually, or stock or dividend. That's all it records. And then it works in like a filtering way. So everything gets put into this main sheet. So you can just go as long as you want with that. And then you've got like a per position filtering command. So in this case, I can just say, oh, I want to look at all the IWM positions, or I want to look at only the ones that are marked IWM July 17th. And it will pull up whatever reference number I use in the first column A. So whatever you put in there, you can use that. You can also just duplicate this if you want to have a few that are preset. So you can make as many copies of this per stock chart as you want, of that tab. Let's take a look at what happened in here. Now this trade, the way that it records is actually pretty crazy because I'm actually buying out and closing the trades. So I'm having realized losses daily on these positions. The swings on a poor man's covered put are not as extreme as this chart shows. They're very static, actually. The market goes down. You can see I have like $29,000 loss. I'm rolling that out and I'm getting that whole $29,000 given to me in cash. So the swings on it are very static. I like this sheet for recording it, and I did want to show this is what's actually happening. This is what I'm paying tax on in the account. What I need to do is get this range put in there. So the easiest way to do it, I could link this range to my other sheet, or I could just copy it. So just go up to cell M2, go down to the bottom, and you can hit Command C on your keyboard, or you can just right click and say copy, and then just go over to the new combined sheet, go to the cell here, row 2, and we're gonna go paste special, values only, or Command Shift V, and just post that in there. Overall, how did we do with everything? You know, there's the combined is the darkest, thickest line on here. So there's the overall profit. Pretty stellar end to the year. Now, if I change this to a 20% return, we'll look at that line and we'll just see like which trades were actually outperforming that 20%. Well, the rolled trades were outperforming that for the first bit of the year. The complex trades, the trading plan, were not. They were actually underperforming to begin with. And this is what I was saying about those ratio spreads, not necessarily a great trade overall. If you guys aren't part of the Discord, it is super imperative that you get over there. We are going to be killing it this year. This is where you can ask questions, we can chat more one-on-one, and we can take a look at your trades and make sure that you're having a fantastic 2025. Thanks so much, and let's get rich together. Take care.